Hi, Mochismo Eugene. Welcome to another video from Exit Strategy. Please do like, subscribe, share, and give a thumbs up if you find this video helpful and you think someone else would too. Appreciate it. Finding out what the word thirst trap mean. Thirst trap. This all makes sense now. From what I know now of a thirst trap is when most often a woman adorns herself in dress very extremely overtly provocative, doing things and making gestures with her body in order to attract a man. And in many cases, this is a woman that is very hungry for attention herself. And what she is doing is trying to attract a man in all of the worst ways. Thirst trapping. And the thing about it is, I have observed women that have done this. Take the gym, for example, and this is not all women. Women do wear things that are comfortable, snug, form-fitting. I get that part, but if you've gone to a gym lately, it is just a fashion show. It's a provocative fashion show. And in many cases, you wonder, is this rated R or rated PG? Or what are we doing? It's very distracting. It's very insulting to me as a man, especially in an era where a woman wants to be respected. She wants not to be looked at like a piece of meat, but nonetheless, you got everything hanging out. You have everything going on but your business, because your business is everybody's business. And men, we're no better. Men, in ways that we show a lot of flesh, we show a lot of chest, we show a lot of things that are deliberately meant to seek attention. So just the human race, we see this. Everyone is starving for attention. And so thirst trapping, I've found and observed that women that do this are very dangerous. They are very enticing for all the wrong reasons. And I've also noticed women who have trapped guys in this kind of scenario. They turn on the men, the very person or persons who they are trying to attract. They turn and with a verbal viciousness, demean and insult the man, almost to the point of, calling the police or yelling out in public, trying to embarrass a man, such as, what are you looking at? You want to take a picture, this, that, and the other. And it's crazy where I don't even want to say there's a fine line, but I'll use fine line for the sake of this conversation. So there's a very fine line. It's kind of where there's so many mixed signals, mixed messages, to the point where a lot of women want to be respected. I believe this. Who doesn't? Nobody wants to be disrespected. Nobody wants to be made to feel uncomfortable in any situation or circumstance. And I kind of know what it feels like to be stalked. I've been followed around in stores by particular women, and it wasn't just my imagination. But it's an eerie feeling if, in fact, you do determine this or you sense this. So I get that. But when does it stop, and where does the line start and stop with females wanting this so-said respect, but not carrying themselves with this same so-said respect? Because attracting men in an overt, extreme way is something is lacking within. And again, same for men. You get men, they'll get in a crowd. You'll have one or two or a group of men. They'll get very loud as soon as a woman shows up, or women. And it becomes this ego trip that, it's undeniable, it's unquenchable. And to the point where, you hear all type of derogatories, and then they start to insult one another, because this is the way guys do when they are trying to attract a woman. And in many cases, not all men, but in respects of the thirst trap, This is how people go about getting attention for all the wrong things. And if you have a woman that's very provocative, she will go over and beyond, and they'll get loud in a group. They will get catty. They will start moving around and can't be still. You can go to some of your beaches now. You would think, a woman would go to the water. She'd get her some water. She'd cool off. She'll get out of the water and warm up, put some suntan lotion on, wait a little while and go back in the water, which is what the beach is designed for. You go and you have fun. But the last time I was at the beach, you have a certain group of girls, women acting like girls. They cannot stay in one place. They're in the water, out of the water, and not just in and out of the water. They are yelling, screaming, and talking to the top of their lungs. They are just trying to get this attention by any means necessary. Now, these things are happening. And you know what the problem is? The biggest problem is people walk around and pretend it's not even happening. And here you go. You have this situation, whereas a woman is claimed XYZ. And now you have to wonder if you're really thinking, and if you're a critical thinker like I am, you have to think, and especially some of these allegations that have come to the surface and didn't pan out as it initially was accused, or the person had accused the person, and then it comes out, whereas this was all a lie. And we're talking about situations where it pertains to woman alleges a man did this or that to her. You can fill in the blanks, even to the extremes of rape being the most extreme. And so when it's all said and done, you realize that this was nothing more than a ruse or a farce. And so you look back and you say, man, isn't there any repercussions or any consequences for these type of false allegations? But in many cases, there are none. And you have men whose lives are put in jeopardy, men's lives who are put in prisons for years, who have not done anything that has been alleged against them. And you really do have even women who have not ever been sexually or physically assaulted in any way. They will champion this. They will champion this as though it's the truth. They will advocate this to no end. And a lot of times those are narcissists. See, narcissists like to get on campaigns that are wherever there's smoke, wherever there's fireworks, wherever there's a buzz, a narcissist gets on that bandwagon. Take Black Lives Matter. We'll use that for an example. You had so many people that were cheerleading that agenda against it. And a lot of these people, they don't hold these issues near and dear to their heart. They don't. It's a superficial jumping on a bandwagon. They're not passionate about injustices, because if they are, they would start with themselves. They are injustice walking around. Think about that for a minute. You have to pay attention to empaths and chosen ones, because this is where it stops at. The buck stops here. You can't tell me any and everything. You can't convince me that what I'm saying is over the top. You can't convince me that this, that, or the other is written in stone, because it's not. Narcissist moves the can. They move the cup. They move whatever it is. They shuffle and shift things around to fit their narrative. So we're in an era where what I'm getting at here, we really need to understand everything that shines isn't gold. And every person who says this or that happened is not to be believed. They are not to be believed at face value. We must question everything Not just this subject I'm talking about here, but awakened empaths, chosen ones. We now know, looking back, we believed everything. We took everything at face value. In the Matrix way of upbringing and growing into this society the way that we did, we were just doing what we were taught. We were doing what was expected of us. Even looking back, we knew some of this stuff was shady. It was shifty. It was unreliable. There was so much hypocrisy in everything that people around us did. We saw the things that were unethical, illegal, especially in capacities of people in authority. We saw this. And when we saw corruption exposed, we just took it on the chin and we continued to move about as we were before, like robots. Like that was so far removed from us that we didn't see that should have been a sign. And that was God showing us those things then. So when the awakening came, we were able to realize really quick that, wow, we done bought into a lie. We bought into a lie. Sometimes the best truth that you will ever know as an empath and a chosen one is you. You are truth. You live truth. You desire truth. You expect truth. And that's how you are designed. And so when you see falsehood and you see a lot of people trying to fake it until they make it, God has given you an intuitive nature to be able to see it. It may not even be a case of calling it out, but for you, if you see it and you detect it and you determine that that's what it is, don't renege off of that. You continue to embrace and harness your truth. You harness your truth. Doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. You see things for what they are, not for what people want us to believe they are. And so back to this thirst trapping thing, this is how it is designed in society. In many ways, there are thirst traps. You go on TikTok or you're just like me on Facebook Marketplace and I'm strolling down. If you just go to Facebook, which I don't ever deal with the Facebook part of it because that is just, I'm not interested in most of the stuff that's going on in there. It's a lot of time wasted. And years ago, I determined that I was spending hours and hours and hours on Facebook, worrying and wondering and investing in other people's lives. And I still do that with YouTube. But the difference is it's educational for me for the most part. And then I'll go in there. Sometimes I'll see some humor, you know, a little bit of everything. But I'm not just sitting there reading other people's posts and their lives while my life stays stagnant. And so my point to that is, if you just stroll on the Facebook, and I think it has everything to do with algorithms, and that could be on me, because as I've talked to you guys about in the past, you know, I have struggled with pornography. And if that was the algorithm, I go to the Facebook, just Facebook in general, and you know how it says people you may know. And a lot of these faces I don't know, but I look at these women, the faces and the pictures, and there's a provocative slew of women there. And I always click remove, 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 remove. And I find myself, it's 20 to 50 remove, 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 because a woman can't just be dressed, covered. It always has to be provocativeness. So the lines are very blurred there. They're very blurred because no one can unanimously say what's right and what's wrong if you're asking them in this society, because some would say, oh, that's fine. While others would say, you know what you're doing is not okay, but what you're showing is perfectly okay. So it's just whatever is fancy, whatever is convenient for that moment. It seems to be what society will accept or reject. It is a very, very schizophrenic society. And that is why I conclude, when I talk about there's nothing really, it's not a whole lot of good in this world. It's not. You have to be the good you want to see in this world. And I'm standing on that. You have to be the good you want to see in the world. And that sounds philosophical, and you'll hear people say that. They'll use that. A narcissist will use those they would use that verbiage. Because what they want you to do is look the other way. They'll pen all of these good statements when they don't embrace any of it. So watch the way people move. Don't watch what comes out of their mouth, because that's the test. And we all should be mindful of one another. We all should be mindful of one another, starting with ourselves. Monitor our own behavior. That way you're able to determine this is not even acceptable. I don't care what everybody else is doing. She's half naked. She's showing everything. She might as well not even have any clothes on. But you won't hear anybody speak against it. Not only is it just fashionable, what man gonna say anything about it? I'm getting a free peek. I get to see everything without being labeled a perv. She's showing it, so I'm looking. I used to make jokes about that. She's showing it, so hey, she's showing, so I'm looking. But you come to a point in your life and you must call an ace and a spade. This is how you condition yourself and put yourself in a better place. And this is how we prevent and we preserve ourselves from further assaults and abuse from these people, these Jezebels that are weaseling their way in our life. And we're looking at everything but the right thing. Our focus should be on other things, something that has some depth to it, something that has some substance to it, like her personality, like her mannerism, like her behavior, like her ability to be still and stay in one place and sit still, her ability to give you eye contact, her ability to carry a conversation that doesn't involve gossip